blew a fuse. What's up everybody, Pete with Auto Repair Tips. In this video, I'm looking at a plasma cutter. I've been in the market for like a portable one I can just throw underneath the car and, you know, cut away. We've got a snap-on one here, but it's pretty big. If you look at this one here, it's probably maybe 12 inches by, I know, 8 inches. The one I got from a snap-on is like almost 10 times this size. Now, I'm not looking to cut things as thick as we use the other one for, but I'm looking to just cut things off the bottom of a car, whether it be a exhaust bolt or a frame, a bracket, or just some things I need to cut without having to drag out that big monster we got over there. So I talked to this company called Vevor, I believe it's pronounced, and after talking to them, the guy said, hey, look, I'll send you out this one to look at if you make a video on it. And I told him, I said, right up front, I said, one thing about me is if it's a piece of shit, I'm gonna let you know about it. If it's a good thing, I'm gonna let you know about it. I'm not gonna just pick out what's good about it and not talk about the bad, because believe it or not, I don't care how much you spend, there's always something bad in everything you use. All right, that being said, let's get into the video. So when you get it, this is how it comes. There's gonna be some assembly required. It's really not rocket science. It's pretty simple how it goes together. You can probably put it together without even looking at directions. Now, looking at the cord, we use 220 on the other plasma cutter, but it's not this setup on 220. So I'm gonna have to use 110 setup, and it comes with an adapter to go from this 220 to 110. The only bad thing about it is I don't think that's gonna be a fair test, because I don't really think 110 is gonna give it enough juice to really do a whole lot. Next thing we're gonna do, this is your regulator you get, and it's gonna mount back here. Just make sure you pay attention. You have an outlet and an inlet. Your air is gonna go in, and the air is gonna go out into right here. So it mounts right here. Let's go ahead and get this up. Next thing going on is the hose. Out of all this hose they send you, I'm only going to use it from here to here. So we're only going to need a little bit. You do get a little Teflon tape to go on it, keep any air from leaking out around the fittings. This is nasty feeling. So we will stick it right here and wrap it around one time. The fittings are a 14 millimeter. Let's go ahead and get the hose cut. We're going to go from right here, get a hose clamp on it. Take the other hose, just make a small loop when you're doing it. So kind of eyeball it, and that should be fine, something like that. If it does what they say it's going to do, it'll be nice to have something portable just to move around real quick. I'm hoping it does. I'm hoping it works with 110 too, because if not, I have to go buy the converter to convert that 220 to our 220 fitting. I was looking at this earlier, this gauge, it's in metric, so you're gonna have to work with that a little bit. I guess you can get a conversion chart on Google or something, see what it does, and try to convert to what you need. So a little blue tab, pull it out, and your gauge will go right here. I'm probably going to run it wide open anyway. I'm not going to, I guarantee I'm not going to regulate it down to nothing. I'm going to have it cranking. More power. More power. These are supposed to go up here. I'm not sure what if I'm going to put them on right now or not. You got some extra fittings that came in here. And there's some guide tips that you can use, it looks like, to keep you away from the metal that you're cutting. All right, for right now, let's hook up the front half of this, which is not a big deal. Plug it in and let's get to cranking. First thing we'll just put the ground on. It even gives you a picture of how it goes. You can't mess it up. All right, if you look right here, it's got a picture of where this goes. This is your actual cutting bit. It screws on the very end. Tighten it up good, put it here. And then you have a ground wire right here, and it's gonna go right here. There's 2 washers on this ground wire. Put it between the washers, meaning put one washer on, put the ground wire, then put the other washer on. If you're looking at the front right here, it gives you the cutting thicknesses. It tells you that if you're cutting 14 millimeter steel, it's 65 PSI. If you're cutting 10 to 12, it's 60 PSI. If you're cutting 6 to 8, it's 50 PSI. All right, what I'm gonna do first is I'm gonna get my card over here, get set up, and then I'm just gonna go right into like 1/8" steel, and I'm gonna, like I said, I'm gonna crank up the, I'm not gonna go by this, I'm gonna crank it up. One of the first things I noticed already that I don't like, or should have been better designed, is the brackets. They're real flimsy. And I noticed it when I was putting my air fitting on, to be honest with you. All right, let's get it plugged in and let's see what happens. Let's see how this thing does. Let's get it hooked up here. So I've got it set to about 30 PSIs. Let's see how that does. Tell you what I'll do. I'll go one step further. We'll even put this on here. Kind of helps it keep your distance so you don't get real close. Come on. All right, 30 PSIs, and we have 1/8" steel. And let's crank this up. What do you think? I'll keep it, I got this set to 50. All right. No. Crank it up higher. All right, I got it set right now at 4, and that's about 50 PSI. Doesn't sound very happy. Literally is burning a hole straight through it and not cutting it. Let's cut it back a little bit maybe. See what that does. That's nice. Better get a pair of pliers. So I cut it back a little bit. Let's see roughly what I got it sitting at. I got it sitting right about, well, so blind I can see it. I don't know, about 2.5 maybe. I think I'm definitely gonna switch that gauge to PSIs. I think it'd make life a lot easier. Blew a fuse. I did blow a fuse doing it just now, but I'm gonna try it again and see what happens. It's made a pretty cut through it though. I was trying to go faster than I should have because I don't want to blow another fuse. Yep, there it goes. So between the batteries and the camera giving out and the fuses keep blowing, I'm struggling here. This is definitely not a fair test. The 220 current is going to be a lot better. I'm going to go get the correct adapter, come back and do it with the 220 current, because using the 110 current, although it made a nice cut all the way through, I kept blowing fuses and it blew them twice. So let me get that adapter, we'll hook it up, and then we'll come back and try it again. So let me tell you where I'm at with the plasma cutter. Went to the store, bought the adapter for it, because like earlier I was telling you, it kept blowing fuses on the 110. The 220, I had to get an adapter to make it work for ours. I know our circuits in this building are good because I have equipment 3 times as powerful as that, and we have no problems. I got the adapter, hooked it up, started using it, again blew a fuse. So I tried to get a hold of tech support, and that was useless. No one was there for me to actually talk to. This is 2 months later that I'm trying to finish this video. If you're thinking about buying one of these plasma cutters, definitely think twice. Do a little bit more research. There's probably a better quality one out there. This one here, I couldn't even use it on a job. Like I showed you earlier in the video, it just kept blowing my fuses. The tech support is like next to nothing. No one wanted to help. Emails, phone calls, live chats, everything. It just wasn't, there's no help at all. Everybody kept telling me that my building is the issue. Well, I kept telling them, and like I say, I guess this company's out of China somewhere, that I have 3-phase coming in this building. I promise you, this little teeny machine's not gonna blow my fuses. The plasma cutter I got is 10 times the size of this. It'll burn 1/2" steel. So that just tells me that there's an issue with this product. You may get a good one and you may not get a good one. Is it worth the gamble? No, I do not recommend this plasma cutter to anybody to buy, simply because I went through all the loops I could to try to make it work, and gave them, like I said, 2 months, and there was no help at all. All right, that being said, don't buy that cutter. That's it for this video. I appreciate you watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave a comment. Catch you later.